Hafide, and welcome to my tutorial on Google Forms. My name is Chris Leon Guerrero, and I am an instructional coach for the Guam Department of Education. Google Forms is an online application that you could use to gather information from your users in a personalized assignment, quiz, or survey. It is one of the tools that you could use to create an online assessment for your students. I will show you how to get started with Google Forms and some of the features that it has. Let's begin. So first I'm going to open up my Google Chrome browser. Once I've opened up my browser, here on the top right, I want to ensure that I'm in the correct account, which I am, and then I'm going to click on the waffle to access my Google Apps. I'm going to look for Forms. I'm going to scroll through until I find it. Yours might be in a different part, but if you just scroll through, you should be able to find it. Now click on this, and it should lead me to the Forms homepage. Here we go. So now I have several options. I can choose one of the templates that's afforded to me. I can select one of the previous forms that I've already created, or I can start with a blank one. I'm going to start with the blank one. So I'm going to click on this plus sign where it says blank underneath. Once I am in, I'm going to title my form. So I'm going to title this Sample Quiz 1. Once I've titled it, I go here to Untitled Form. If I click here, it automatically transfers the name here. I could add a description. Underneath is where you will start with your questions. So once I click on this box, it opens up the fields. I can ask my question here. I can put my options down here. And here is where I will select what type of a question do I want to ask. Is it going to be multiple choice? But if I open this up, I have other options. Short answer, paragraph, check boxes, drop down. I'm going to select multiple choice. Here I'll click on Untitled Question, and I'm going to type out my answer, my question. What is your favorite sport? And because this is a multiple choice question, I need to provide options. So I'm going to click on option 1, and I can either type out my option, or I can click on this icon and add an image. But I'm going to type out my answer, my option. Start with basketball, add option, football, volleyball. Now obviously I can add as many options as I want, but I'm going to stop there for now. But there are more sports, so I can just click on this add other. This way the recipient will have the opportunity to type in their own answer if it's not there. Now once I'm done here, I have more options. Here on the bottom, I can duplicate this question so that if I have a similar question that I want to ask next, it will be a lot easier for me to edit. If I don't like this, I can delete it. I can click here where it says required, so the recipient will have to answer this in order to be finished with this form, but I'll leave it off for now. Here on the right, I have more options. I can add a question. If I click on this, it'll give me another blank slate to start with. I can import a question from another forms that I've used. I can add a title or description. I can add an image. If I add an image, it'll shoot the image here underneath. I can add a video, or I can add a section. So here if I just click add question, I can start with a new fresh question. Now I'm going to show you a forms quiz that I have already created so that you can see all the different options that you have. So I'm going to click here. I can either click back or I can click on the forms icon to take me back to the forms homepage. And I will show you one that I've already created earlier so you can see. So here is my sample quiz, and I'll show you how to add a theme to this. And under my sample quiz, I have a multiple choice question here. I have a true and false question here, short answer, checkbox, so you can choose multiple answers. Another one where you could check it. This one I created a multiple choice question, but I wanted to base it off this image. So what I did was I created a multiple choice question, and then when I was done, I clicked on this icon here, add image, which takes you here, and you can upload an image that you have on your computer. access your camera, Google Drive. You can do a Google image search. And that's how I put this picture in. And you even have the option, so here's another multiple choice question, where your answers are images. So I'll show you that right here. So if I click on this, and let's say I wanted to, if I wasn't done with this question, I can add another option. If I click on add option, right here, instead of typing it out, I can click on this image, this icon right here, and I can add an image. But I'm not going to do that right now because I've already added all the images that I wanted. And you'll notice that down here, I have a section that says answer key and points. It's always down here in the bottom left if you make this option available, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to go to the top here so you can see some of the other features that Google Forms is available to you. So here at the top, on the right side, you'll see that there is add-ons, customize your theme. You can do a preview so you can see what the students or your recipient will see, and your settings. So here are the settings. If I click on this cogwheel here, you'll see you have more options. You can collect email addresses. You can restrict it so that you can only send this. I could only send this form to Guam Department of Education and its trusted organizations, so people with GDOE emails. I can even, if I want to allow for the recipients to take back their responses and then edit it, they change their mind. If you want that to be available, I can click that, make that available. But if I want to add an answer key, I have to click here on quizzes. Here in quizzes, I have to make this a quiz. The default is that this is off. But if you make this a quiz and you turn it on, it now allows for you to add the answer and assign points to it. And when you do that, the system will automatically grade it for you. So let me save this, and I'll show you here. So if I click on this question, for example, because I'm in the master sheet, I get to see. Of course, obviously the students will not see this, but they could see it when it's done and it's graded, when they're finished. So here, once I've created this question, I can click on answer key, and here's where I inputted the answer. And then I assign points. That way, when it's done and the recipient is done answering all the questions, then it'll automatically grade it for me, which is a wonderful option. I even turn on this option even if it's an assignment. Now keep in mind though that if you assign, like here, I have a short answer. So here, if it's a short answer, and in my answer key, I'll show you, I gave several options. But of course, the problem is if any of their options is different from what's here, so if their spelling is off or you didn't include that specific improper spelling, then it'll mark it wrong. So it'll mark it incorrect. So you got to be careful with that and make that decision if you want that option. But if you're creating a multiple choice or some sort of drop box like here, checkbox, then requiring or setting up the answer key is a wonderful, wonderful option, and just makes your job a whole lot easier. But obviously, if you're doing paragraphs and short answers, you may want to make a decision as to whether or not you want that option available to you. Now, the last one I'm going to show you is how to set up the theme. So if I click on Customize Theme here, it's a paint palette. There are theme options. You can just simply change the color of the theme, or you can do an image upload. So I can click on this. If I click on image upload, it gives you already preset themes that you can select from. There are so many, just to make it a little nicer, a little more appealing to look at, and you see that there's many different options. But you can even upload a photo. So here, I'll try uploading a photo. So uploads, I already have something saved onto my desktop. I'm going to browse. I'm going to go to my desktop. And here I have, right there. And I'm going to open this. And it'll upload. And it shows me. And yes, I'm happy with this. So I'm going to click Done. And now it has uploaded my new theme. And this is basically Google Forms. So I would like to go over now the Google Forms application for your mobile device. In order to access the Google Forms app for your cell phone, you would first need to download it. So if you're using an iPhone like myself, then you would have to access the App Store on your phone and download it there. And if using an Android device, I believe it's the Google Play Store, and you would have to download it there. And once you've downloaded it, make sure you have it onto your phone, and then we can begin. Okay, so now that you've downloaded the application onto your phone, we just need to access it. So I have mine listed here under Google, and I find the Forms app down here on the bottom. I'm going to click on that, and it'll open up the application. Now, as you can notice, it says here, kindly log in using Profile tab to see Forms, and that's because I have yet to log in. And down here in the bottom, you have Home, Profile, Contact. So I'm going to click on Profile, and I would have to sign in. So when I sign into Google, I got to be sure, I'm going to click Continue here. And I want to be sure that I log into the correct account, because if you don't log into the correct account, then of course it's not going to upload the correct forms that you want to see onto your device. So since I want to access my work account, I'm going to click on my GDOE account and log in with that one. I'm going to allow here, and I'm going to allow. And then once I allow that, scroll down to the bottom here, and I'm going to click on allow. And there you can see I've logged into the correct account. I'm going to click on the home button down here, and it should take me to my home page where I have access to the forms that I've already created onto Google Forms. On the desktop that I've created, they upload together. So if I want to create a document, you have to click on this red button down here in the corner right with the plus sign. So once I tap on that, I have the option to either start a blank one, or I can click on one of these preset themes that they've already have uploaded from the Forms application. So I'm just going to start with the blank form up here so you can see what it looks like and notice the differences. So it's very basic, but it does provide you the simplicity of being able to create a Forms document and making it portable for you in case you're not at home or you don't have access to your computer. So just title your form. So I'm going to call mine Sample Form. And you can add a description, but I'm okay with this. Now I'm going to have to click on this open screen to remove the keyboard here so that I could add a question item down here on the bottom. So I'm going to add item, I'm going to click on that. And you see that automatically it pops up where I get to choose the type of question I want to ask. So to make it quick, I'm going to just click on multiple choice and see what that looks like. And here I can add a question, and then I can add my choices. So I'm going to add a question, something simple. What is your favorite snack? Question mark. So there's my question. I can even add more of a description. Now I can add my choices, my multiple choices. So I'm going to click on Add Choice. And there you go. I've got option. So I'm going to tap on the option so I can bring up my keyboard. I could put something, cookies. Okay, when I have that, I'll click on Add Choice again. Another one pops up, another option. Scroll that up so you can see it. I could put chips. And I was going to stop there for now. I can, because there's so many snacks, I can click on this other, make that available so that's when the students see it or your recipients, they can type in their own answer. I can again make this required. I can delete it if I don't like this. But if I'm happy with this, all I got to do is just tap again on the open screen, like on here on the side somewhere. That way I can have access again to add another item. And if you tap on the add another item, then you once again can choose an option that you want, another multiple choice question, a checkbox, short answer, what have you. But I'm just going to close this. And then be sure that before you are done, and if you like this document that you've created, you can click on Save. So up here in the top right, I will click on Save. And then I get a little more options. Limit to one response, collect email addresses, edit after submit. So make sure that If you want them to be allowed to take it back and edit it again, then you can just leave this check marked. If not, tap on it and have it removed, and that way once they submit it, that's it. And then click on save again, and it's making the form and saving it. And click on OK, and it should take you back so you can edit some more, but at least now it's saved. If I want to go back, I can click on here, and it should take me back to the home page. And that pretty much is the Google Forms application. So now that you have a basic understanding of Google Forms, I'm going to show you how to incorporate your Forms document into Google Classroom. So let's begin with that. Okay, so since we're dealing with Google Classroom, obviously you got to be sure you're logged into your Google Classroom, into the correct account. Make sure you're using your account that's affiliated that you want to use your Google Forms document. You actually can post your Google Forms document in several locations. We're on the stream page, and if I click on this, I can actually, if I wanted to post my Google Forms document that I created, maybe it's a survey, I could post it right here by going into my Google Drive and attaching my Google Forms document here. But probably for most people, they're probably going to be assigning it as work, maybe a quiz or an assignment. So for that, it's probably best if you go under classwork. So up here in the top, we're going to click on classwork, and then once we are here, we're going to click on this button that says create. So when I click create, you have options here to create if you wanted to make it a quiz, assignment, okay, your choice. I'm going to click on assignment for this example. And then of course, I'm given where I put the title and instructions. So title, I'll just put sample quiz. And then instructions, please complete the Google Forms attachment. Right, so now I have simple instructions. Of course, please provide detailed instructions if you feel you need to. And then I have two options here. I can either add, so I can go into my Google Drive and link a Google Forms that I've already created. So here I have a couple of documents I can search for. That's why it's important to be sure that you title your documents appropriately so that you can make sure you're attaching the right one, right? So here I have a sample quiz. I'm going to click insert. And there you go. I have it now. Sample quiz is loaded. And all I have to do simply is assign it. Of course, you have the option to assign points, make it ungraded, set your due date, and so forth. But you also have another option. So I'm going to delete this right now by clicking on this X. You can actually create your Forms document from scratch. Personally, this is the way I usually do it because it already links the Forms document, to my classroom without me having to go into my Drive and search for it, which is fine as well. But if you go into create, you will see these options of docs, slides, sheets, drawings, forms. I'm going to click on Forms. So I click on Forms. It will generate a blank Forms document. And as you can see here, I'm creating it. And as you create it, it actually gets updated onto your page, your classroom, as you can see here. So I'm not going to go over this part because you can just refer to the beginning of the video where I teach you how to navigate through the Forms document. But here you can see that it's right here and it's already connected, so I don't have to go searching for it. And then of course I have the option, if I wanted to assign it right now, I can schedule it, I can save it, save the draft, or I can discard it if I want to delete and start all over again, right? So if I wanted this for tomorrow morning, I can schedule, and you can go there. And of course you can access the Google Classroom tutorial for basics on the DOE webpage or the GDOE YouTube page. So I can even have the option of taking this Forms and attaching it to other classrooms, other classes that I have set up. So that is basically how you navigate Google Forms within the Google Classroom. Thank you.